Time is running out, peeps. Time is running out. So we got AI's version of replacement theory here. Humanoid robots that they've actually. I remember hearing about like these like little humanoid robots, like what 4 or 5 years ago. The progress so far, and it's only been like 4 or 5 years, is ridiculous.
Microsoft's AI CEO, Mustafa Suleyman, is predicting most white-collar tasks could be automated within 12 to 18 months. He says that the shift is already visible in software engineering, as AI has already transformed the work by driving the next generation of robotics across industry and across defense. Humanoid robots emerging as the future of warfare, the U.S. accelerating AI integration into combat operations. San Francisco-based Foundation Future Industries is developing humanoid robots built specifically for military use. The company is also scaling commercial deployment across the country.
You hear that? Built specifically for military use. Now let's be realistic. Yeah, I can see the military for sure taking advantage of this, especially at the start. Uh, and that's a debatable conversation right there because yes, it could potentially save lives as far as less regular human soldiers on the battlefield. But think about the, let's just say the men and women that take pride in serving their country. So if they're going to be replacing soldiers for these robots, I see definitely a lot of people not cool with that. And then I'm sure this will probably go into law enforcement and stuff like that. But what she didn't say though, which is the reality, and this is what most people are worried about, is all the other jobs, not military, but all the other jobs. Your white collar jobs, office jobs, pencil pushing, computer, desk work, all that stuff. What about those jobs? And that's the reality. They already got AI. I'm not even talking about these humanoid robots, but they already got AI systems replacing people's job. And this is just the beginning. And I've seen a study that in the next like 4 to 5 years, a lot of jobs are getting replaced. And it's a ridiculous. So, she said specifically for the military, no, this is going to be more widespread to the military. Obviously, military, law enforcement, security first, but then it's gonna go to the rest of the stuff. Like it's gonna hit everything. Every single thing will be hit by this. Everything. It's gonna be pretty rough.
In manufacturing, including in the auto sector. Joining me now is Foundation Future Industries CEO, Sanket Patek. Sanket, great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. First, let me get your reaction to what you heard from the Microsoft AI CEO, that all those jobs are turning to automation. You also have the CEO of Anthropic, Dario, who also made a similar comment. He said, and he's probably like the most safety-focused CEO in the AI industry. He says AI will eliminate 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs within 1 to 5 years. Your reaction?
First, great to be with you, Maria. And I actually agree with him. It seems like increasingly more and more any kind of work that humans do today that is repetitive, anything that does not require high amounts of intellectual skill set, or even things that require high amounts of intellectual skill set but can be learned with a lot of data, all of those jobs are potentially going away, and all of them would be automated with humanoids or other forms of robots.
Well, this is a big statement. What are we supposed to do about that? How can people arm themselves with the right information to actually survive and potentially thrive in this new era?
Here's the reality. 90% of people will not be able to, kind of like what he was explaining, yeah, obviously there's going to be certain people that have to like run different, some of the different systems and stuff like that. But 90% of us will be replaced. Anywhere from the next 5 to 10, maybe 15 years. It's inevitable. I can't even say that word. It's inevitable. Maybe 20 years tops. And this is going to hit every single field. It's most likely starting off in the white collar stuff, and it already has, the computer stuff, pencil pushing, stuff like that. It's going to hit the other stuff too, man. You know, we're already starting to see some of this in construction, a lot of like some of the labor jobs, stuff like that. So this is going to hit everybody. This isn't something that's going to be like some small little, you know, like think of the computer revolution. Think about when computers came out. Multiply that by like 1,000. But computers actually, that's not really a good comparison because computers offered a lot more jobs to people. But still, it changed things. It could change things in a very big way. And this is just a whole nother scale, like a supernova scale of the change that's coming. And there's going to be a lot of angry people, man.
I mean, this is, Maria, I think this is as close to the singularity as we can be. Like, I personally struggle with this question a whole lot as well. I don't think there's a way to stop all of the AI development unless everybody decides to stop at the same time. China would not decide to stop. US, for that reason, would not decide to stop. So this is an inevitable shift in how our economy is going to work and how humanity is going to work. And it's quite a hard question. Like, I do not know what the purpose or the day-to-day of human street looks like. I am, however, optimistic. I think what's going to happen is, historically, we haven't really gotten rid of slavery. We've just changed that to a financial incentive. So now people are forced to work jobs that they don't like doing and do that for very minimal wage and cannot buy a house, barely can afford healthcare, barely can afford education. AI has the potential of changing all of that. It has the potential of being able to give everybody good housing, everybody good healthcare, everybody good education. And for the first time in the history of humanity, people can actually do things they enjoy doing. So that's the optimistic side of it. I do, however, worry what this means in the short term, because in the short term, it's going to be a very disruptive change. Elon's called this, I think, a supersonic tsunami, which is probably the right thing.
See, that's the thing, though. I feel like he's kind of like trying to like soften it up a little bit. Yeah, the short term is gonna fucking be really insane because people are gonna be really pissed. You know, long term, like, and he was like, "Oh, people are gonna be able to buy houses and all this stuff with what?" Because essentially, what's gonna happen, you know, because the way it's looking, you know, they're pushing society to basically not work at all. We're gonna live in a robot world, like the iRobot movie with Will Smith, except that times like 100, because they essentially want everybody to not work. So we're just gonna sit at home and collect essentially welfare checks. You know, like that's kind of what it sounds like, man. And it's not like we're gonna all be millionaires and billionaires, right? So, you know, I'm assuming they're probably just gonna give us just enough maintenance checks, just enough, keep us quiet, keep us calm. Go buy your materialistic items, your uh, DoorDash, or fucking get stuff delivered to your house, whatever. Just shut up, keep quiet, stay home, play video games. That's the reality. That's the long term effect right there. Because I don't see any other way. Like how does this play out right here? How does this play out? How is this something that plays out? And then think about it. If you have an entire population essentially not working in collecting government aid, capped, by the way, we got to make sure that we understand that it's going to most likely be capped, like a standard amount for everybody across the board is what it's going to be. So imagine that, though, an entire society not working, collecting checks from the government. So who's going to be really buying stuff? That's another conversation that needs to be had too. Like, who's going to be buying stuff? I don't know, man. I think that it smells fishy. It smelled fishy when I heard about this some years ago, and it still smells fishy now, especially the scale that this is going on, man. Like, Jesus.
It's going to be an extremely disruptive change. And I think the governments are going to struggle to keep up. But I do think there's a path ahead where the future is quite exciting for humanity. And that's the one that we're striving for.
Okay, so let's talk about your business because Foundation striking a U.S. brokered agreement with Ukraine to deploy humanoid robots for surveillance, logistics, and other high-risk operations. These 5'9" Phantom units capable of carrying more than 40 pounds, designed to operate in dangerous environments. That's the kind of robot I like to see because you would rather put a machine into harm's way than an individual. Sanket, tell us more about this collaboration and what's possible when you look at AI related to the military.
I think, Maria, this is one of the areas I feel like humanoids will have one of the most profound effects. There are three big use cases that we're looking at, not only with Ukraine, but also with the Department of War within the US. The first use case is just logistics work, so being able to move things around, supply pickup. Now in Ukraine, what happens is when soldiers leave a building to go and do supply pickup, there are drones that shoot at them. So it's better to send it's better to send humanoids out versus human soldiers because they can essentially do these tasks just fine. And if they get shot, there's less of a concern. The second kind of task that we've been asked to do is around.
Or is there really, though? Is it less of a concern if one of those, I'm assuming, multi-million dollar, at the very least, several $100,000 machines get shot down? It's less of a concern. It sounds good on paper. I don't know. And, I understand that aspect of it. But what I have an issue with is everything else. Let's go ahead and just put the military and law enforcement and anything security to the side. Cool, whatever. You guys want to, put robots out there to help protect people, to help protect human lives. That's one thing. But what about replacing all these other jobs where people are not at risk? Only thing that they're at risk at is losing their job. What about that? That's a conversation that needs to be had right there. Because I'm on board with this. Military, cool. Let's save our soldiers' lives. Law enforcement, cool. Less cops being killed doing their job on the streets. Cool. But what about Brian that works at the Amazon warehouse? What about him? What about Susie? She's a cashier at the gas station down the road. What about her? What about the teacher? There's a conversation that needs to be had right there. And that's the reality. And I like how they're like, oh, this is only for the military. No, this is going to be all the way across the board. And it seems like very soon, so sooner than later, this is the reality
pretty
right
much
here.
Inspection, repair, maintenance. So that is also not a weaponized task, but a task that is all the logistics work that happens behind the scenes. And the third one is that actually impacts soldiers in a big way is reconnaissance, being able to go into buildings and breach doors and actually surveil that building, make sure it's safe for soldiers to be in. And that's going to be increasingly the future of warfare, which is more and more robots. What people don't realize is we already have, compared to the Iraq War and now, we have significantly more amount of robots on the battlefield. Most of them are airborne. Some of them are landborne, but majority of them are airborne.
Drones.
And humanoids give you the ability to be able to become a little bit more precise about tactical things. For instance, if a target's in a building, instead of bombing the building, you can actually go through the building, navigate it, and get to the target, which today human soldiers do. And we are more and more hopeful that humanoids and robots are going to do that.
That is so exciting, Sanket. And I know, well, look, you're a government contractor, right? You're working with the Department of War on dual-use humanoid robots designed to support warfighters and strengthen the defense industrial base. What's possible here, Sanket? With the Trump administration involved in onboarding this process, how do you see that partnership accelerating? And can that kind of robotics give America an edge, even a bigger edge, when it comes to the military and military AI?
So first thing,
Man, yeah, I like how they're sugarcoating this. They really, they're using this whole military angle, and I get it, cool. Let's save some soldiers. I get that part, but they don't want to talk about the reality of the long term effects. What's going to happen after that? Yeah, they're going to do. But what about the jobs being replaced right now? What about that? That's the conversation that I want to have, man. This is some scary stuff right here. You guys got to strap in for sure, because the next like 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years are going to be one hell of a show, for real. And this stuff, and it's ridiculous. The advancements, like you know how it was when cell phones came out. Like it seemed like every year it just kept getting better and better. It seems like this AI stuff, especially with how far we are since cell phones, it's like doubling or tripling the rate of how like cell phones got better and better. This AI shit just keeps getting better every single year. It's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. So you guys, like, do what you gotta do. Get little side gigs, get something going on, man. Because yeah, and I feel like nowadays it's making money online is probably the best way to go. Because this shit's gonna come for all the jobs, man. Every single job, except for the people that are like running the systems, will be hit by this shit. Will be hit. I already see them in the trucking industry. They already got some of them, some of these trucks, self-driving trucks going on. Like this shit's hitting everything. It's hit like it ain't just the office people, man. This is gonna hit everything. Nursing field, like the whole 9 yards. So be prepared, man. Like start having some backup plans because this ain't looking good at all. And they're sugarcoating this video right here. I'll leave the link for this video in the description if you guys want to watch the rest of it. That's it for me. Until next time, Bar Sponge out.